But the pictures are going to tell a lot more than I ever can. Now, what we're going to be talking about is our aerial truck. It's a 1974 American LaFrance. It's a 55-foot snorkel truck. American LaFrance, back when we bought that, it was, or is, the Cadillac of fire trucks. We're going to try to use this pointer. The truck there, that's the American LaFrance part, and that's the boom. Whenever you do a red light, you know, they say don't use a red light to shoot with because you keep shooting everywhere but in the same spot. So as this wiggles, well, that's just part of it. But you can see we've got it parked at Overstreet. And first batch of these pictures is made at SAU. That right there is the proper operating range of that truck right there. The big idea is to keep the boom over the back side of the truck. So you're not going to see this again in any more pictures. So what we've done is we had one of our new firemen get up in the boom, and somebody has failed to tell him exactly the proper operating ranges of the truck. So if we have a fire, well, he'll be the man operating the truck because he don't know any better. But like I say, it's a 55-foot snorkel truck, and the lower boom, which is that part right there, is 21 foot. And then the upper boom, of course, the top part there is 30 foot. So with that being said, the maximum reach is 30 foot. You know, that reach right there is 30 foot, and that's all we're going to do right there. I mean, so right now he's already got the truck out of position right there. Oh no, wrong thing. Okay, so he's already got it out of position right there. So with that being said, the Overstreet building, now this is coming down Jackson Street when you go right in front of Overstreet. Well, the building is 63 foot from this front parking lot. And since we're talking parking lot, as you look at these pictures, the parking lots are empty. Me and my guys, what we've done is we got out one Sunday morning between the hours of 9 and 12. You know, everybody's going to church. And so as we get to look, you're going to notice these parking lots are empty. So, you know, if we have a fire at SAU, if we can get it to happen between 9 and 12, you know, on Sundays, we'll kind of have a little chance. But I doubt that's going to happen, but you never know. But Overstreet, again, you can see from the parking lot, we're 63 foot. So, you know, keep in mind, again, 30 foot reach, we're already 30 foot out of the game. You know, 33 feet right there. The occupancy on this building is 361 persons. They are doing some renovating on the 3rd floor, so that'll be the number after the renovations are through. This building is not sprinkled. I did have a question asked him one time about the buildings being sprinkled. Some of them are and some of them aren't. So we'll see some that are and some that are not. But Overstreet is not sprinkled. So you see right there, we could shoot water in a window, but if we had to make a rescue or do some kind of roof operation, you know, you can see we're not in the game at all. You know, we will be there to spray a little water. And so this building right here, this is the agribusiness building right now. And what we've done is we found a parking lot. See there again, it's empty. This is the closest place we can get to the building. Again, 63 foot away, so 33 foot out of the game again. This building is sprinkled. I talked to Jasper Lewis, and he's been very helpful on this. So if you guys see Jasper, we'll thank him because he's given us numbers and distances and stuff like that. But you can tell we're not in the game here again. Here we're backed up in a parking lot as close as we can get to the building. And the occupancy on this building is roughly 400 people. Now, when I give you these occupancy numbers, that's 1st, 2nd, 3rd floor all combined. And this is just a different little shot of showing just how far away we actually are. Okay, this is the science building. It made a pretty picture. You know, the building is 90 foot away from the parking lot. There's no sense even setting up. You know, we're 60 foot out of the game there. The occupancy rate on that building is 586 people. That building is sprinkled. It is a 3-story. So what we've got right here, this is on the back of the science building, which faces, what's that way, west. And we did find a loading dock around back. So this is what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to where if we have to make a rescue or fight fire in that building, we can get up we can get up to that window just like Hayden's doing there. And so then in the next picture, if we have to do a roof operation, whether it's ventilation or fighting fire, we're able to get up on top of the roof. Now you see right there, that's the proper way to operate the truck. See how the boom's just kind of right there over. So we can get by with that. Now then, what's wrong with this picture? Here's the problem, is we got 3 stories, 1, 2, 3. And the way you figure a story is 10 foot a story. So, that's, so our problem here is we have a standard in the NFPA manual that's talking about collapse zone. So what we are, we're about 9 foot away from the building right here. So if this building is really burning and collapses, well, the fire truck is gone. It has collapsed on it because that wall is going to fall out 30 foot, and then you got to have a little scatter range at that. The best example of this, I know we all seen the 911 there in New York, when the Twin Towers collapsed, you seen those fire trucks. Of course, there you couldn't get out of the collapse zone. But that's what happens when that stuff collapses. It lands on the trucks, it tears those up, and it usually kills somebody. Because usually you've got an operator that stands right there that's pumping the truck. But this is what we'd like to be able to do. Of course, we can do that because the building's not on fire. We do have a loading dock, but if the building was actually on fire, we would still do this because we will risk a lot to save a lot. But this is something we really don't want to do. What we're doing now is getting into some of the dorms. This is Tally Hall. We're able to reach one of the dorms here, and we can reach that dorm, but you can see that far dorm we can't reach. I'm telling you, we can reach it, we're in the collapse zone already. All it's going to, that building there, if it falls, well it's got us, because we got to remember that, our maximum reach here is 30 feet. So we can back up a little bit and go ahead and reach that building, but then again, that 30 foot, is that Armageddon. So that's what we've got there. Now here we are at Bussey Hall. Again, you see the parking lots is empty. We was able to back right up to the building, and still backing up to the building. We're 30 foot out. That's what we need to be able to do, is get up there. But then again, we're in the collapse zone again. So, and that's if cars are not there. But see, if cars there, we're 60 foot away from the building. So, we're not even going to reach them. Bussey Hall is not sprinkled. So that's another building that's not sprinkled. And I've got some numbers on those we'll get to in just a second. This is the village apartments. For those of you who don't know, well, I've got a map. We'll look at that in just a minute. But these are out at SAU. And then again, parking lot empty. We're able to back right up to the building. I'm going to go on to the next one. You see here how we have the 3 different roof lines, the 1, the 2, the 3. We actually had to make a rescue out here on one of these. We had a guy that was painting. He was right in here. So his machine quit, so we had to go out there and rescue him. So the best we could offer him was to go up right here, because this is the only one we could reach because of our maximum operating range being the 30 foot again. He had to unhook his safety belt, crawl up on the roof, and then walk over to where we could get our hands on him. So, we was able to help him, but we had to get him to put himself a little danger on him, unhook his safety belts. So, back to that one, no. This one, you can see how far away that is. It looks pretty close, but I wouldn't want to jump that far. So, and this is just some numbers on SAU out there. This is the non-sprinkled dorms, just to let you know what kind of fire load we have out there. Bussey Hall, 3 stories, 170 persons. Now, keep in mind that that's first, second, and third floor. Harrod, 3 stories, 159. Green, 3 stories, 149. Cali, 3 stories, 156. Talbot, 3 stories, 143. All those are non-sprinkled buildings, and that's where we have to try to do a rescue on every one of those. The sprinkled dorms, the Honors Hall, Fincher Hall, which they're all 3 stories, 160 at Honors, 74 at Fincher, and then the University Village, there we was at a while ago. There's a total of 6 buildings out there, 230 persons live out there. So, like I said, we have had to make a rescue out there before. This little map I was telling you about, Jasper fixed this up for us. The red buildings are the sprinkled buildings, and of course the University Village is right here. I'm probably going to mess this up, but Fincher's right there, and I think that's the new band building there, and the gym, and the new student weight center that only the students can use. the honors dorm, the honors dorm right there, it is sprinkled, but you can see how far off the road it is. No way to get to that at all. And then rental center right there, we can get to it at a couple of places. We can use the loading docks. Of course, then we're back in that danger zone again. And then here, right there is that business agri, and that other building there is the science center. And this we're going to build their new building they're working on now, and then the lignite building right there. So that is SAU. Any questions on SAU at all? Now, one of the reasons we chose SAU's growing, and they're going to continue to grow. They're adding more. I had, one question about, yeah, we have to use the SAU a lot, but we do have to use it in Magnolia a lot too. Because, the city ordinances, the way, and Dave, you're going to have to help me with this, is when you build a residential building, would you say it was 20 foot off the road? If you're residential, 25 foot off the road. So remember our 30-foot reaching range? We're at 25, so there's not a lot of it. And then commercial was 60 foot, is that what you told me?
No, commercial, C1 is a 0, and then 50 feet on C2, and I don't remember what C3 is, but industrial is 60.
Okay. So, but summing all that up, we're out of our range again. But one other thing, and then to kind of finish this up, we went to the hospital next. That's a major investment here for Magnolia. Where we're at here, we're on the south side, and that's where the ambulances pull in there at the emergency room. We can get up on the third floor around on the south side. Now we zip around to the north side, parking lot empty again Sunday morning. You see the 30-foot range, Hayden hadn't got a clue. I wouldn't do that by no means, but he don't know any better. So, but it's 75 foot from the building, and you see what we're 45 foot away. It looks like we're close to that one room over there, but that's an optical illusion. So when you look at it, you see just how far away we are. And all those glass windows you see up there, that's where the patients are. When they built the hospital, they put all the patients on the third floor, which is understandable. When you go to a big hospital, they're all up high against the privacy or whatever. But just a little information on that, the hospital is sprinkled, 3-story. Patients are located on the third floor, and it's a 49-bed hospital. And I think of those 49, 4 of them are double occupancy rooms. So that's all that. But this is the route I chose to go tonight, was the rescue route. We're not even talking the mechanics of the truck. We all know I know most of the councilmen know the mechanical problems we have with the truck. It's some stuff that can be repaired, some stuff we've already repaired, and some stuff that can't be repaired. And then when we do repair it, well, thank goodness we've got a machinist that's a volunteer fireman, and he usually builds the parts to repair it. But, if we ever get checked, since we annexed east of town, we may have to have another station one day. And this is a 1974, American on France, which was a Cadillac. We have the snorkel part tested, it passes. We have the pump part tested, it passes. So if we sold the truck, we probably wouldn't get a whole lot for it. But if we kept it, I think we'd make a real good aerial apparatus at a substation. Because then it would be used mostly for residential. So I think it would work good for that. But, someday, like I say, 1974, it is passing tests, but we can't do any rescue. So the people I've been talking to, someday, and I think I've told everybody this, we'd like to have a 100-foot ladder truck with a boom on it, just like we're used to. But the 100-foot, it's got a 100-foot reach. It can go to a negative degree, heading down, or it can go straight up. So that would put us, that we could reach any building here in Magnolia we need to go to. So sometime we're going to have to think about that, whether it be the tax or the millage increase, but that's what we're looking at on the fire truck. Is there any questions at all?
Chief, I understand that the newer trucks would have a 100-foot boom?
Yes, it would have a 100-foot ladder. Yeah, it's the boom. Let me back up here. It's it'll have that bucket. You see the bucket on the end? It'll have that, and then it won't. it won't have the two arms. It'll be just one, it'll be stacked on top of each other, so it's like it just kind of keeps stretching is what it does. And then on that beam, it has a ladder. So when you get ready to do a rescue, you pull up to that window, and people start coming out, they can walk down. You know, of course, nobody in here is probably more scared of heights than I am. I'm just scared to death of them. But, you know, when I got to thinking about this, 100 foot is high. But nowhere in Magnolia do we have a 100-foot structure. They're all 3-story or 4 or 5. But it's 100 foot away from the road. So we're not going to be walking 100 foot up. We're going to be walking 100 foot over. So, you know, like I know all of you know, you've heard the $1 million mark. That's probably what the truck's going to cost. You know, if we could buy it today, we might could get it for $900. You know, as time goes by, the price of the truck's going to keep going up. And then the one other thing to keep in mind also is that our pumpers, you know, we try to replace those every 15 years. Our pumpers that we have now are 96s, so you know we're there now. So, you know, it'd be nice to get this ball and get it paid for, then we're going to have to start replacing pumpers. Because it's, you know, it's coming, so we're going to have to get ready. So any more? Yes, sir.
This might be a silly question. Since the majority of the buildings that we need a truck to service would be SAU, I just wonder if there's any chance that there may be some grant money that SAU could get that might help in the future whenever we come about it.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, that'd be a question we could ask Dr. Raymond, of course, you know, that, which I hated to kind of pick on SAU.
Well,
You know, here we are, you see where our buildings are at, and it's gonna continue to grow, you know, but then we're maybe possibly looking at this 3-story apartment complex coming in, and motels and hotels. So, you know, Magnolia's gonna have to do their part too, you know, to be honest with you, I doubt it, but, you
yeah,
know, maybe.
I mean, I didn't know.
Yeah, cause you know, all of you know, we tried getting this, assistance firefighter grant the last 6 years, and they're just as soon as they can, they spit that out, you know, it's, we're asking them for $1 million if they can help 10 fire departments out with $200,000 truck piece, well, that's the route they're going to take. So, you know, we might get the grant someday. We don't know. Our grant writer is going to do it. Again, this year he's doing it for free, so all that's already covered. So, you know, we're not giving up either.
With $1 million bill, brand new truck,
Yes, sir. It would get a brand new truck.
back in '74, was the 30-foot boom, is that standard?
Yeah, the 55 footer, yes, sir. That was pretty well standard for this area. Now, you got to understand, you know, this was almost 40 years ago. You know, the town has grown a lot since then. You know, the ISO come in, they said that's what we needed, and of course that's what we got. That will take care of the McAllister building. You know, we had a fire up there where a gentleman died up there. We was able to go up to the very top and rescue him. Of course, he died later at the hospital, but the truck done its job there. You know, it paid for itself right there. You know, we was able to save his life with the truck that day.
So at what point in time did the standard go from 55 to 100?
Well, it's really not a standard there. It's just that Magnolia has grown, so we have to grow with the buildings in Magnolia. And it's not necessarily the height that's getting us, it's how far off the road the building. So as long as you can get to your buildings, well, that's what you got to have. They still make a 80-foot or a 75-foot ladder truck, so you can buy a 75-foot ladder. That wouldn't do us any good, but you can still get one.
And we looked at the possibility of maybe trying to find a less expensive, maybe used truck or.
Well, you know, I think the mayor and I talked about that. Of course, you know, remember from the get-go, 1974, you know, bragging on my guys, they do a good enough job that they can keep a truck going for 40 years. And me personally, I'd like to see us get a new one, because if you get rid of a truck, just like if we get rid of this one, we're getting rid of a problem. So, you know, I'm afraid we're buying somebody else's problem. So I would definitely recommend the new. One of the main reasons being we're going to have that truck probably for the next 4 years. So, you know, as much as it costs, it's paid for. Then experience shows me my guys can take care of the truck. And it's sitting right there, just rolling. Went to a fire today.
What kind of lead time does a new truck have, Chief?
Probably a year, close to a year. By the time you do all the specking, of course, you know, I've never spec'd one out, but there's plenty of help to do that. I mean, it'll be done right. And then you're looking at equipment, all the ladders that you see on the side of the truck right there, they've all flunked their test, they're there for looks. So, you know, we're looking at buying new ladders, but the truck would look terrible without those ladders on there. But they're out of service, they've all flunked the test. So, but we're looking at new ladders, new hose and stuff like that for the truck, so all that's gonna help add up to the cost also.
So it'd take a year if you ordered it tomorrow. Probably.
Probably, unless we could find one already built somewhere, you know, you might could get it a little quicker, you know.
Chief, would you mind to tell the public how often that truck goes out? And what happens if that truck breaks beyond repair?
That truck goes out on every structure fire we have. It's actually supposed to go out on every alarm we have. It's a second truck out. If, the ISO requires that for us to keep our certification. And, one thing that happens while we're at a fire, if we have another fire, that truck there has to go to the other fire. And it's the first truck out. Of course, if it breaks down, well then, you know, you're not getting a fire truck till we can get somebody broke loose, give them to the space station and pick up another truck. So if it breaks down, you know, it's, we'll have to definitely get it repaired and get it back together.
But now I heard you say earlier, some of our parts are machine made or
Yeah,
handmade.
some of our parts,
If that truck gets where it will not roll tomorrow, what's the city facing?
well, I mean, we're gonna have to have a new truck, that or our insurance rate is gonna go up, you know, so that's what we're looking at. And, you know, if our pumper's getting old and if it's having to build another station, all that's what's gonna keep our ratings down. So, you know, that's what we're looking at. So we're gonna have to, you know, come up with some way to get us some money to help start getting this stuff. And if it's red and it says fire department, you know, it's just like going to dark sky high.
Chief, just to clarify, if our ratings go up, would you explain to the council and the public what
Yeah,
would happen?
what that is the ISO, which is the insurance service, they come in and they grade your fire department. There's several ways they grade it. One's your water system, one is your communications, and of course your trucks are one, and your men are another. And if we let our insurance rating go up, like let's say we lose our aerial truck, of course, then it would go up. And what that does is they come in, and Gary, you correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, because you probably know as much as I do. They come in, they give you a score, anywhere from 1 to 10, which Magnolia's about 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. So we're right in there with them in the middle, thanks to our aerial truck. Thanks to our water department doing a great job. We got our communications where they need to be. We finally got enough manpower, you know, to keep our rating up. But if that goes up, it's going to make our insurance rating go up. And what that does is your homeowner's insurance is based on this ISO rating. I think there's maybe one insurance company in the United States that does not go by the ISO rating. They may go by a zip code. Am I right, Ron? Okay, I think they go by a zip code, but most of them go by this ISO rating right here. So if our ISO rating goes up, your payment at home is fixing to go up, your insurance payment.
Any other questions for Chief Penner?
How many volunteer and regular firemen exactly do we have?
We've got 13 paid, counting myself, and then we've got 8 volunteer. Is what we have. No, I believe that's 9. We've got 9. But you know, they all do a great job. You can tell by keeping the trucks going for 40 years. You know, that's saying a lot about the guys.
I'm
They do a great job.
complimentary to the fire department. I was a volunteer for 20 years, and Magnolia Fire Department has always had the fortune of having some fine firemen that save this city, I'll say, hundreds of thousands of dollars on maintenance and repairs on the trucks and all ever since I've been associated with it.
Mm-hmm. And we appreciate that. They're just,
Familiar with council?
At what point are we looking to get into purchasing?
Chief, what have you got in the bank, 200? We can probably get a grant for another 150.
maybe. You know, we've got 150 in one account and then about 60 in another. You know, we could definitely use it all on a truck, but, you know, remember back to our 15-year pumper situation. You know, I'd like to see us use 150 for the snorkel and keep the 60 and keep a little on hand to where if one of these pumpers just goes out, we've got a little down payment or something to help out with there too.
So what,
Just a little seed money.
do you plan to save the money or save enough to at some point finance a new truck?
Southwest Planning, I talked to them, they started to work on a low interest loan for us, which again, like the chief said about the truck, it takes time to get that paperwork processed. Me personally, I would like to see us, when we get our tax and village in place, I'd like the chief to be able to do something January 13, because he's probably not gonna see it till 14. But if the money's not there, we can't do it. But we have to have a plan, because the decision makers for the city are sitting at this table right now. And there is a little grant money out there to help in this, but it won't be much. When you're talking about $1 million, $100 million. Right, because we won't be, if the sales tax passes, we won't be able to start collecting, I'm told, until October, January. And if the millage, if it turns out it's a millage and you all see the need for the city to move forward, I don't see that money coming till late, 13, and possibly early 14. Chief, how many years do you bring to the city of service?
Well, 32, May will be 33.
I value Chief Penner's opinion, so I'll promise you I'll be working closely with him on this, and we will report to you as to the needs. Anything else? I've asked Chief Penner to help me again. Chief Maxwell serves on the Compassion Board Foundation, and there was a meeting tonight, and he and I both felt that he was better served there. That's our battered women's shelter. So I've asked Chief Penner to help me. The council, most of you've seen this, but it deals with the building that we're setting in. And if you'll just walk through this building, fire or police, and look up, you'll see that the north side of this building has leaked for some time. Debbie did tell me that prior administration, since some of y'all may have been here, there was a roof put on, but we're talking about a flat roof. And the gutters were built on the inside of the building, so just wanted you to see the overcrowding that the PD stands. Chief, just keep moving slowly, but you guys can kind of look at this, want the public to see. Evidence is just running out everywhere. Still more evidence pictures and how we're loaded pretty good there.
I think that's still evident.
Still evidence, yeah, keep going. We have one cage that we can hold a person in. Kind of like the chief said about a fire. We'll have to wait till we get a truck there. We have more than one, we have to make other arrangements. Go ahead, Chief. You'll see this throughout the building, but this is just where the water leaks down into the chief's office, as it does all along this wall. You'll notice up at the top, this is our one and only sergeant's office. 4 sergeants work out of this office. We just quit putting tiles up because it's just a matter of a good rain and they come back down, so we try to catch as much as we can. This is one of our detectives' offices, and you can tell we're full again. That's your 911 central dispatch. All those folks take care of our city right there in that little bitty room. Again, there you have more water damage. Okay. So I simply asked in January when I made that request to the council. Again, we've got to think where we want to be. We keep throwing money in this one, but I don't see the need. And we have to ask ourselves, as our city grows, motels, possible apartments, are we going to be able to provide and take care of the people? So that's my request. Again, I support you. If it's a sales tax you want to put to the people, I'm on board, because we've got to do something. The cost of doing business is going up daily. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Russell, would you get the lights back there, please? Does anybody have any